Hi, welcome to Unity of Mesa Online. I'm Reverend Kathryn Kellogg, and I'm joined today by John Groves, who's our meditation facilitator, and our guest musician, Daniel Nahmod. We are continuing our theme of the spiritual toolbox, and we're looking today at the law of love, because love transforms. And we're using the text, The Intelligent Heart, Transforming Your Life with Laws of Love by David and Bruce MacArthur. So our affirmation today is, I choose love. Will you say that with me, please? I choose love. And what a wonderful affirmation to make, because today, with the pandemic going on, the raging wildfires, the continuing protests and seeking of social justice, of the elections that are coming up, and the remembrance of 9/11, we need to remember to let our light shine. Do you remember the movie E.T., that beloved alien? And at the very end of the movie, E.T. has to return to his planet and his species, and he's saying goodbye to his human boy, Elliot. And Elliot is already beginning to feel the absence of E.T. But E.T. points his finger and it lights up, and he points it right at Elliot's heart, and he said, I'll be right here. I'll be right here. Neil Diamond then wrote a song called Heart Light. Turn on your heart light, let it shine wherever you go. And so today the invitation is to let your heart light follow your thoughts and your feelings, to shine your light and to send your love, to let it embrace and enfold and encourage. So let's take this opportunity to do that. The invitation is to gently close your eyes and to focus on your breath. And as we focus on your breath, drop your attention to your heart and see yourself breathing in through the heart and releasing from the heart. Breathing in and release. And while you focus on your heart, see that heart light, that love light, and allow that light to expand with each breath, to expand and to shine steadily and undimmed. And then send your light forth to follow your thoughts and prayers to those in the news, to those on our prayer list, to our kids returning to school, to a loved one we are concerned about. Send your light and let it shine, knowing it is doing the work of communicating peace, compassion, and encouragement. Breathe into the light and then release that light into the world. Breathe into your heart light, to your love light, and then release that love light into the world. With each breath, we affirm that today, I choose love. And so it is. Amen. And now for our opening song, One Power by Daniel Nahmod.
Hello, Mesa. My goodness, it's been a long time. It's Daniel Nahmod. I'm sitting here actually in my boys' bedroom in our house in Orange County, California. We moved here in Thanksgiving into this house. And then in March, of course, my schedule went to empty. And I have become a much better drywaller and floor destroyer than I ever thought I would be. We moved into a fixer-upper, and fixer-uppering I have been doing. A whole lot of performing on Facebook and a whole lot of fixing up the house. And that's been good. We're a little idled and we would love to get out of the house a little bit more. I'd certainly love to visit you in person. But in the absence of that possibility, I'm really glad to be singing for you today. Thank you to Dennis for the email, and hello, Kathy, and thank you to everybody at Mesa. I do miss visiting, and I sure hope you're all doing okay and making the best of this little season we're all going through. Today is about love. This is the first song I'd like to share with you today. There's one power, invisible you see it everywhere and every day? One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings, or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, or Jesus, or Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. The freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby. The serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon. For it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, what we are is one. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
And now some things for you to know. Join me today, won't you, in our virtual garden for fellowship and discussion. If you go to our website at unityofmesa.org, you can register and a link will be sent to you. But don't wait till the end of the service because we may miss you. If you would like our prayer chaplains to pray for you or a loved one, if you'll go to our Unity Cares page under the Ministries tab, you'll find the prayer request forms there. And you'll also find other information on direct prayer support and other spiritual support that we do offer. We're so grateful to all of you who signed up to be a White Ally. We had so many people sign up that we had to close registration. If you are still interested, if you will contact Lori at Lori, L-O-R-I, at unityofmesa.org, you'll be added to a wait list. If you didn't hear about the White Ally Group, you can go to our website under classes and read more about it. We're also very grateful for our prayer chaplains and all of you who joined the Unity World Day of Prayer last Thursday. From wherever you were, whether you came to the grounds or whether you prayed at your home, collective prayer is powerful, isn't it? Sending our light out. And so thank you, dear ones, our prayer chaplains, and all those of you who added your light to the love that got sent out. Every week, Friday, I offer a 5-minute Bible talk and a discussion group on the 4th Friday of the month. And on Tuesdays at 10, there's a Sangha meditation with Karen and Tony. If you'll go to the classes page on our website, you can sign up for both, either the Friday night discussion group for Bible talks or the every week 10 a.m. Sangha meditation. I want to shout out a special word of gratitude to Shannon Kassler. For 4 years, she has been our youth ministry coordinator, and she is taking this time to step back now so that she can have more time for herself and her family and her business. And we just shout out to Shannon how our gratitude and our thanks for all the ways that she has shown up for our kids. And now it's time for our offering. So even though we'll not be meeting in our sanctuary in September, we continue to care for our physical location and to do the work that keeps us connected and ready for our return. We appreciate all that you do in supporting this ongoing work of the ministry. So directly, you can give through online giving at our Give Plus app or by sending a check. We do receive mail every day. Or to give indirectly by ordering books through our website, adding Unity Church of the East Valley as your favorite charity on Smile Amazon and Fry's Rewards. You can get our current book, The Intelligent Heart, from our website and Smile Amazon. All this info and more can be found on our website at unityofmesa.org. And if you're watching on YouTube, all you need to do is just click the link in the description. But now let's take our gift in our hands and our hearts and our minds and say with me now our offering blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Spirit of Abundance. And now let us prepare for meditation with John Groves.
Our affirmation for today is, I choose love. The Apostle Paul, in his first letter to the Corinthians, concludes his discussion on the nature of love, noting that faith, hope, and love abide, and the greatest of these is love. We may regard that he is choosing love and encouraging his readers to do so as well. Embodying love, we have the spiritual means to nurture and support ourselves and others. For all that and more, we are truly grateful. In joy or in sadness, love sustains us and emboldens us to live our lives fully, manifesting our highest and best of our divine intentions. Now, inspired with the fullness of love, let's turn inward. Let's take some deep breaths and prepare ourselves for meditation. As our meditation time comes to a close, let's take note of our surroundings and prepare to rejoin our worship service. Again, our affirmation for today is, I choose love.
Our boy, Jude, is now 8, and I can tell you with certainty that sometimes the most powerful love comes in little tiny packages. My principal value has always been kindness. It's true for my wife too. So we have attempted to emphasize kindness, not just, of course, model it as best we can, but to look at life experiences, current events, interactions with classmates for Jude in school. We have attempted, even visiting the zoo, we've attempted to look through the lens of kindness. And as I say, if the subject today is love, sometimes it comes in small packages. Lately I've been thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone. There's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think the world is his to save. It's too much pressure anyway, can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is, saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope, my boy, you'll come to understand. No 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. So put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters, what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child.
Thank you, Daniel. A kind child is raised on love and care and compassion. We're going to be talking about those core feelings, those love feelings today. But first of all, I want to ask you, how's your life going? How are you doing? With the COVID-19 pandemic and the economic fallout about that and protests for social justice, for the natural disasters such as our floods and our fires, our hurricanes, and for us, our heat and drought. How are you doing with all this? People I talk to are saying they're done with this being isolated. They want to get back out into the community. They're tired of it. It's gone on too long. But you know, eventually the universe will right itself. I believe that will right itself. But the difference is how we get through it. How do we face the challenges and the experiences to come out even in a greater way, to take the opportunity to learn from all of this, to be able to grow through this year of 2020, not to escape it or transcend, but to use it to transform ourselves, to awaken and open in greater ways to our own spiritual nature, activating then our spiritual attributes of faith and love and strength and wisdom and life and the rest of those 12 attributes of Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, and joy and peace. And so some of us are experiencing the frustration and the worry and the anger and sadness and bewilderment during this time. And what we need to know when we're aware is that those feelings speak to us about expression of limitation or lack that we might be feeling unequal to the task of the day-to-day grind of we want to lash out or to quit altogether instead of moving through it with an even flow. And so today we're going to talk about one of our tools in our spiritual toolbox, principles and practices that help us experience the life that we desire, that even during this time of COVID, we can live in the awareness of gratitude and abundance and wholeness. So the book that we're using, The Intelligent Heart, Transforming Your Life with the Laws of Love, it gives us spiritual tools and principles to work with. They give them laws that go beyond just changing or switching out our thoughts and our feelings to actually transforming them to a higher vibrational level. These laws invite us to feel love deep within our hearts to access those higher dimensions of intelligence and wisdom, to move beyond that third dimension of intelligence where it's just self-focused and about our physical existence, and to move up to the higher fourth dimension to where we experience God as a living, active, applied experience, and we receive immediate guidance and clear directions from within. So what is the tool that this book, this text, our authors give to us? And it is love. Love, the spiritual tool of love, that harmonizing, healing principle, that pure power that creates and sustains the universe. It's not the human love, because we fall in and out of love. We feel pain or wounded by it, but it's that spiritual love, that deep place that expresses from that place of infinite power. And so today we're going to be talking about the law of love that taps into that place of infinite power. And what we're talking about with the law of love is that primarily it's an internal experience. And it's an experience, it's not a concept. We're not going to think about love, but we're going to experience it. And it's the movement of love through our heart that causes the transformation. Not thinking about it and trying to be logical, but feeling the movement of love through our heart that causes that transform. And what does it transform? Well, in our lives, we have constructed perceptions built on our five senses and human intellect. Don Miguel Ruiz would call it, we've been domesticated when we enter into human form and join the rest of our community on the planet. We are shaped by that community to stay within the lines, to stay within the boundaries. And then we create limiting thoughts and feelings and a sense of lack to be able to stay within that. And so through our lifetime, we've constructed our world through these perceptions and patterns, limiting emotional or thought patterns. And then once we construct them inside, we project them into the world as our outer experience, which then creates difficulties that we have to deal with. These challenges, these difficulties can create stress and worry and fear, but we can transform these patterns and perceptions by transforming them from within with that law of love. And so what do we say that love is? Well, we talked about the pure power and its harmonizing and healing principle, but love is God. Love is that applied active experience of the presence of spirit. And when we allow that spiritual presence, that love to flow to an area within us that is holding a limited emotional or thought pattern, then that pattern is transformed. Love can transform the physical body. Dr. Lou Childrey from the Institute of Heart Math has done studies that show that love, core feelings of love like care, compassion, and appreciation, they can change our regulatory systems, our physical regulatory systems in the body from incoherent frequencies to coherent, lessening the wear and tear on the body, saving the energy for other things. And so let's look at a couple of graphs just to get an idea what we're talking about. The first graph is about, deals with our heart rate variability. And the HRV, heart rate variability, measures or shows the picture of the heart in action and the heart at rest. So the heart rate increases to push the blood through the body, and then it slows down. And then it increases, and then it flows down. And then it increases, and it slows down. And when we take a look at that, for the feeling of frustration, you'll see in this graph that the HRV is chaotic, it's incoherent, it's imbalanced. It looks angry, doesn't it? But when they took the HRV for appreciation, look at the difference. The waves are even and coherent, they're healthy, meaning the heart is ready for whatever comes next. And the interesting thing is that when you bring the heart into a coherent rhythm, when you bring in that feeling of appreciation or a core feeling of love, then the other systems in the body sync up to the heart, creating better harmony and health, greater feeling of energy. This is called entrainment. Let's look at the next slide. Do you see all the systems in the body? And then when we hit the freeze frame, which is a method we're going to do this morning, then everything evens out, becomes coherent, healthy, gives us greater energy and harmony in the body. So how do we tap into this power? How do we make that happen, in other words? And it comes to the power of attunement. And to attune is to adjust or to bring into accord or a sympathetic relationship. And the interesting thing is that we attune our body all the time. We attune our systems to focus on when we watch TV or when we're eating or when it's time to sleep or when we think. We're adjusting and focusing all of our body systems on what we're doing. And so using the law of love, we can attune our body into the forces of love and creation by tuning into the frequency of our own spiritual nature, which is a composite of our head and our heart, our body, and our spirit. See, each one of us has a frequency pattern, and we can tune into it, see what's going on. It's just like a radio station when you get in your car. I realize that not many of us listen to the radio at home anymore. But when let's get into the car and we turn on the radio, we tune it into the frequency in which we want to hear the music or the speakers that we want to hear. We tune into that. But our frequency, just like the radio frequency though, can be limited by thoughts or feelings, patterns and perceptions. And so how does the law of love tune into that? Because that creates static. When we're incoherent, there's static in our station and we can't get that fine-tuned to hear clearly. The law of love then tunes into the higher vibration of our spiritual nature by adjusting our circuits to the essence of the divine force within us. And so we adjust our frequency to that higher spiritual nature by adjusting our thoughts and our feelings. We have the power to choose our thoughts and our feelings through that power of love. And sometimes it's difficult to go there, to be in that place of love, but that is the key to open up and to bring our frequency into coherency. When we use those core love feelings of appreciation, compassion, and care, we can attune ourselves to that higher frequency of our higher nature. What's really fascinating is that our hearts generate an energy that creates an electromagnetic field. Cool, huh? That stretches out in 12 feet in all directions. And when we're using a core feeling, that core feeling activates the heart energy, which then stimulates the field so we can receive the wisdom and love that it generates. The author said it's where spirit meets matter. But when we use a core feeling, from our heart that generates that feeling, it stimulates the field in which we can receive that wisdom and the love that it generates. If we want more information on it, I suggest that you get the book, The Intelligent Heart, or you can also explore the energy codes by Dr. Sue Morter. She talks about the electromagnetic field also. Very, very cool. So how do we connect to that wisdom and the love? And it's through that master law of attunement, which says, if you will be my people, I will be your God. Does that sound familiar? From the book of Leviticus, chapter 26. I will walk among you and will be your God, and you shall be my people. It was a covenant that was made to the Hebrew people years and years and years ago. But as we crack it open, we see that it's true for us today. And if we bring it into the divine relationship, if you will be mine, I will be your God. So what does that mean? In unity, we talk about that our first principle is about the nature of God, that there's only one presence and one power, active as the universe and in my life, God all good. We say God is omnipotent, which is all power, omniscient, all knowing, all good, everywhere present. So if it says, if you will be mine, I will be your God, then all those things are there available with us at all time if we seek it first. See, we have a choice. We have a choice to choose life or not. We have a choice to choose love or not. But if we seek first the spirit within, all that we need will be added. The wisdom and the intelligence to guide us in clear directions, giving us clarity for our life and decisions we have to make will be ours. Seek first the spirit within, because the spirit is all-knowing, all-powerful, all good, everywhere present. That's how we attune, by seeking first that God, trusting, having faith that the source within us is the greater knowing, the greater being. And it's interesting because seek ye first doesn't mean when to seek them, but how to seek it. That when you seek the Spirit within, may that be the strongest relationship you have. May that be the voice, that still small voice that you listen before anything on the outside. Seek first that deep relationship, and then move from there into receiving that which you need. Because you know what? The heart is greater than the head when it comes to wisdom and love. The heart is where love begins, and love transforms. The law of love is that love transforms. So how are we going to do this? Well, usually we think that love happens to us, but we can choose it at will. We're not talking about the mushy kind of love, the romantic or the sentiment, but we're talking about that powerful, intelligent force that is the very creative energy of the universe. The heart is the source. Have you ever heard anybody say, I love you with all of my head? No, I love you with all of my heart. It is the source where we feel the movement of the divine presence and that energy. The heart is a spiritual center. It's not the only one, but it acts as the balance point for the energy from all that flows through all those spiritual centers. So all the spiritual centers flow through that. And then we know that we can direct our love to activate and access that force and that creative energy, that we get to direct the love through our thoughts and our feelings to access that force, that creative energy. And so what are situations that happen in our life that help us to direct love, to raise that vibration for healing and harmony? Let's look at one of them, and that's transforming our daily thoughts and feelings that affect how we experience our daily life. You know, we have those habitual patterns of the lower vibrations of limitation and lack, and they become deeply ingrained because we continue to reinforce them day after day after day. And so what we want to do, instead of switching those thoughts out, which when we say our affirmations, it's not just switching this thought for this thought, but really transforming that thought. We want to raise the vibrational level to a higher pattern. And so let us remember that our emotions and our attitudes affect this electromagnetic field that we generate, that our heart generates. It affects those heart waves. And so when we feel frustration, it sends out that chaotic pattern where the wave pattern interferes and cancels each other out. It's that incoherent frequency. But if we enter into that deep feeling of appreciation, we cause that pattern, our heart waves, to become coherent and orderly and create a pattern that we can, that is at a higher vibrational level, which we can access more wisdom and intelligence with. So we can consciously choose coherent frequency. So I want to take us through a practice called the freeze frame. It comes from Dr. Lou Childry from the Institute of Heart Math. And I'm inviting you to play with me for a few minutes to go through this piece of how do we access that higher vibrational wisdom and intelligence. And so the steps for freeze frame is, number one, is recognize a stressful feeling. So take a moment. Where are you feeling stress in your thoughts or your feelings? And tell yourself you're going to take a timeout. Now I invite you to gently close your eyes, because the first couple times it's easier to do it with your eyes closed. You can focus better. So now that you've recognized that stressful feeling and told yourself you're taking a time out, make a sincere effort to shift your focus away from that mind thought or disturbed emotion to the area around your heart. Bring your focus to your heart area and pretend that you're breathing through your heart to help focus your energy in this area. And what we want to do is to keep your focus on your heart for at least 10 seconds or more. Breathing through your heart to focus your energy. Now, with your mind off the stress and your heart focused or your breath focused on your heart, recall a positive, fun feeling or a time that you've had in life. Recall a positive, fun time or an experience that you've had, and bring that feeling and those thoughts into focus, into your heart. Now, using your intuition, your common sense, and sincerity, ask your heart, what would be a more efficient response to this situation? One that will minimize future stress. Ask your heart, what would be a more efficient response to this situation? One that will minimize future stress. Listen to what your heart says in answer to your question. And then take that breath and express gratitude. Thank you. Now, the trick of it is to follow that guidance and to do this enough times that you begin to gain confidence and faith in that inner intuition, in that still small voice that guides you to that higher spiritual nature vibration. And so what you want to remember is that you can do it at any time. And once you've learned the steps, it can go faster. The steps are printed out in the Intelligent Heart, or you can play this again to get it. Remember that you tell yourself you're going to take a time out, recognize the stressful feeling, take the time out, focus your energy away from that thought or emotion, and focus on your heart, breathing in and out for at least 10 seconds or more. Then recall a positive, fun time or experience and allow that feeling of that fun and positive thing to take over, that place of deep appreciation or care. Then, using your intuition, common sense, ask your heart what would be a more efficient response to the situation, one that will minimize future stress. And then listen to what your heart says and follow its guidance. You know, the heart intelligence, there again, affects the brain, and it stimulates the brain to a higher level of effective functioning. It's what we call, that fancy word called entrainment, that when the heart intelligence rises, the vibratory level, it stimulates the higher level effectiveness of the brain. And the deeper the heart feeling, the higher the level of intelligence you're able to access. Isn't that cool? Appreciation is such a powerful tool for transformation. I want to share with you the story of a rabbi before we close out about how powerful appreciation is. Whoops. It said a man had grown tired of his wife. Her constant nagging and complaining had driven him to the point where he decided to divorce her. So he went to see the rabbi, whom he told about his great frustration and anger for all the abuse that he received from his wife. The rabbi was very understanding, and noting the man's anger for all the abuse that he received, he asked him if he didn't want to get even with his wife. Well, the man was eager for a chance of revenge and asked the rabbi, "How can I get even?" And the rabbi told the man to pretend and let his wife think that he thought her beautiful and loving and that he deeply appreciated her. That way, when he later divorced her, she would know what a great loss she had suffered and would realize that she could never get another husband as wonderful as he. The rabbi instructed the man to tell his wife every morning and evening that she was lovely and beautiful, and to thank her profusely for everything she did for him, even the smallest things. The man eagerly agreed to this fiendish plot. A year later, the rabbi met the man at the market, and the rabbi asked him if he still wanted to divorce his wife. The man looked at the rabbi with surprise and said, "Why would I want to divorce such a beautiful, wonderful, and thoughtful wife?" The rabbi had given the man the tool of appreciation, which transforms our life and the lives of those around us. So today, in bottom line for the law of love is live from your heart. Live from your heart. Trust it more than your head and open it to its wisdom and its intelligence. Because love transforms. It's very simple. Love transforms, but we don't always remember that. We don't always activate it so that we can access that higher wisdom and intelligence and create that life of abundance and wholeness and of gratitude. I hope you have fun with it. Let's take that deep breath. Now let's hear Daniel for the last song.
One more song. Thanks again for having me today. I miss you all, and I have so many friends and familiar faces at Unity of Mesa in just a few visits. It's really a special place. So I look forward to just hearing that the doors have swung wide back open and that you're all gathering again as the family that I know you are. This song is from my Sacred Love album. In fact, it is the title song from the Sacred Love album, my very first album of hymns, and I think you guys sing some of these songs. Released this in 2004. The secret intention of the Sacred Love songs was to create prayers that the world could sing together, regardless of faith, regardless of background. So, a song called Sacred Love. If you know it, please sing with me. And if you don't, sit back and enjoy. Or make up your own words. It's what I do for a living. It's pretty fun. Thank you again. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Ready to sing? You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, God. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way. Show the way, God. Show the way. State of grace. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way. Lead the way, God. Lead the way. Holy place. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. Once more. You are deepest joy. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, God. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Thanks. Take care.
Wow. Sacred love. This week, may you remember that that is your true nature, a sacred love, and allow that heart light, that love light to shine forth, to allow that law of love to transform your life, to choose love in every waking moment. So thank you, John, for your meditation. Many thanks to Daniel for sharing his music. We are so blessed. And in that gratitude, we remember that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Blessings.